you so much, Vanessa.
I just think that I was in a better position at the time when Trump was president. For example, like my mom owns a small business, and she's being taxed more now than she was when Trump was president.
Did you know that we're still under Trump tax policy?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like, and even one of his policies, like,
does your family make under $400,000 a year?
Yeah.
Okay, well then under the Harris administration, all of the tax cuts that were under the Tax Cut and Jobs Act are going to be retained for people who make under $400,000 a year, and they're going to bring back the 2021 child tax credit by increasing taxes on income over $400,000 a year, only on the income over $400,000 a year, to specifically bring back the 2021 child tax credit that decreased child poverty by 50%. Right, it increases the child tax credit from $2,000 to $3,600 for children under the age of 5 for each kid.
Okay. I mean, that's interesting.
That benefits the middle class.
I see that. I think one things I disagree with is that taxing the rich, I feel like it ends up falling on consumers and workers for corporations, because I'm an accountant. Like, one of the things with tax is, like, rich people will always find a way not to pay taxes. So that's
because of how our tax system is set up.
What was that?
That's just because of how the tax system is set up.
And I just don't think that, like, Democrats really have, like,
Samantha, they can
fix that. They haven't put in, all they say is, like, we need to tax the rich, but it's like, I don't think people understand that ends up just falling on a consumer.
It doesn't. So what falls on the consumer is tariffs, right? Trump is advocating for tariffs. That's going to fall on the consumer. Well, what I'm advocating for, right, I'll just say it this way. Since we adopted trickle-down economics in the 80s, right, we've seen wages stop increasing with productivity when prior they did. So how do you explain wages not increasing at as fast of a rate as they were prior, right, if the adoption of trickle-down economics is supposed to lead to, more jobs being created, better conditions for workers, because businesses have so much more money to put into the workers?
I mean, like, I'm not against tariffs on other countries, because I think that what it did was, like, it brought more business back to the U.S. Like, more places were building in the U.S., which I'm for, rather than
based on what you know what actually led to? You know the Chips and Science Act? Do you know what that is?
I don't know.
Yeah, so it was passed in 2022 under the Biden-Harris administration, and it specifically brings back manufacturing jobs to the United States, and is going to bring us up to 20% global production of chips by 2030. Which chips are a huge portion of the economy. So, like, that's an important thing to do, right? Because it's an irrelevant industry.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like...
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Thank you for that.
Do you think that prices going up, for example, like the grocery store or like gas, like, do you think that those things cannot be contributed to, like, Biden's policies whatsoever? And do you think it's just because inflation is going up worldwide? Is that, like, what you believe?
I think the $10. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes, I think it's mainly due to, like, trends that would have to affect things worldwide. Else you wouldn't be able to explain why there was worldwide inflation. If it's just, like, the specific policy, I'd ask you, what policy are you referencing? Or, like, what did the Biden-Harris administration do that caused this?
Cause, like, prices going up?
Yeah.
I think raising the minimum wage caused some issues.
They didn't raise the minimum wage.
Is that a state-by-state thing, then?
Yeah, that's state.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I feel like, in a lot of ways, I feel like I am.
That's crazy. So we haven't seen minimum wage increases everywhere, but yet we saw inflation everywhere, didn't we?
Yeah, you could argue that. I'm not here saying that I'm 100% right on everything. And I think, like I feel like a lot of people are black and white on things, but, like, for example, like abortion, I'm like probably more on the liberal side for.
Okay, so so you're voting for someone who's going to restrict women's rights, denies climate change, right? Is sexually abused women, right? He's been held legally responsible for that. He tried to overthrow our government. He called for complete and total shutdown of Muslims entering the country.
Well, I feel like in the debate when asked about people are saying that he's gonna enforce these project what is it, Project 2025.
So yeah, so there are absolutely affiliations between Trump and Project 2025.
I mean,
now, can I say that he's going to do everything within it? I can't. But can I say that there's an overwhelming level of influence of the Trump administration with Project 2025 and everything like that? Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think they said that
he praised the Heritage Foundation in the past. Yes. Does J.D. Vance do that? Yes.
He said that there were ideas that he liked in it, but I feel like when people are like,
he also said that he vehemently disagrees with things, but he doesn't know about it. He made a Truth Social post that said that he didn't know anything about it, but then he also disagreed with it vehemently. So why did he lie about knowing about it?
Why did he lie about knowing about it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't speak on that, but when people say like that he's going to enforce all these ideas, but he said that like there's a lot of things that he disagrees with it and he's totally not back.
Yeah, but so why did he lie about knowing it? You're not answering my question.
I mean, I can't tell you why he lied about not knowing it.
Isn't that sus? Isn't that suspect?
I mean, yeah, you could argue that, but I'm like, from my point of view,
I think that it's very clearly the case.
From him saying that, then from him saying that he disagrees with it, I don't know why everybody's saying that it's like one of the policies that he's going to enforce. And then even in the debate, he said that he wasn't going to limit access to medical abortions.
To medical abortions?
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, he has left it up to the states by putting multiple Supreme Court justices in office with the explicit reason of overturning Roe versus Wade, which has specifically led to what's called people having restricted access to abortion, even in cases of rape, right, in the United States.
Yeah, which I disagree with personally.
So then why are you okay with what he did?
Well, I feel like that's what I'm saying. Like majority, I don't think that a politician can align with everybody's like it's impossible for somebody to align with everybody's views. But I'd say like for majority of my views, then we align with that.
Okay, like what views specifically?
Well, just like his border, I would say border policies. Like I do think that
border policy
a lot of issues by like more illegal immigrants came into our country under
what border policy?
Like Trump?
Yeah.
I mean, building the wall, I think, is a good policy.
So how much of the wall do you think he built?
I don't know the exact amount of miles, but what was it, like 500 miles?
Yeah, so it was like 400 something, and that was 23% of the wall. So give him another 4 years, he's not even going to get halfway done. And he made Mexico pay for the wall? No.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's not perfect, definitely, but I'd say that's more.
Yo, Patty, thank you so much for the $20 on cash. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Patty. Can we get some W's, Patty, in the comment section right now? Thank you so much.
I mean, people in the chats are saying I don't care for women's rights to abortion, but that's not true.
Yeah, it sounds like you don't.
I told you that that's one of the.
It says that you're pro-choice, but you're not going to vote on it.
Well,
so women's rights just isn't a big enough issue to you.
Well, like you said, it's a state by state thing. Like I live in the state of Arizona, for example, and that was like what they did here. I completely disagree with, and I would vote against that. But I feel like I have to vote for the candidate that aligns for majority of other things.
Yeah, like what?
Like I said, like border policy, no tax on tips. I like that he's coming out with that.
Okay, so him saying no tax on tips is the same as him saying that he's going to get rid of federal income tax and replace it with tariffs, which we'd have to have an 85% tariff on every good coming into the country.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just telling you the kind of the things that I agree with on that side, on the Republican side, but I can't say it's everything. So I think I align more with it because I don't like, and like another thing about like, I don't like kind of the ultra liberal agenda that like.
What ultra liberal agenda are you referencing?
all white people are racist and like we want the worst for like women
Bro,
and stuff like that. Like, I feel
what?
it's just it's a big thing, dude. Like people will just call you racist for being like a white male in America.
Oh my god. Wow, it's so terrible to be a white male. Oh my god.
I'm not saying it's
Oh
terrible.
my god, it's
I'm not
so
saying
bad.
it's
It's
terrible,
the worst, dude.
No, I'm not saying it's terrible.
Oh,
That's
dude.
not what I'm
Oh, I
saying,
feel
I'm
for
just
you,
saying
man.
it's
I
like-
feel for you, man. Your rights are really being stripped away. You're being oppressed in this country. As a white male, I bet it's really tough, dude.
I did not
Really
say
tough,
that.
man.
That's not
Really
what I said.
tough.
That's not what
I'm
I
so
said.
sorry, man. Someone called you racist. You probably said something that was racist. That's probably why.
That's not what I said.
Okay. So you're voting for Donald Trump, who is racist, when Kamala Harris, is not racist. So why are you voting for a racist over a non-racist?
I don't think Trump's racist.
You don't think Trump is racist?
I don't think that deep down he's racist. Like, what's one thing that he's done that's racist?
Oh, really? Okay, so what about the housing discrimination lawsuits where they would tell black families specifically that there aren't openings and lie to them, and say white families at the same time that there are openings? Why did he specifically say that Kamala has turned black? Right? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Can you
I
please
think
describe
the way
what that means to me?
The way that it came off.
Why did he popularize the birther movement, saying that Barack Obama, the first black president, wasn't born in the United States, to undermine him running for or continuing to be president?
I think what Trump was saying related to Kamala was that she is like an Indian woman, and then because of that clip that
She's
came
black
out,
and Indian?
she's black and Indian.
Yeah, what's the issue with that?
There isn't. I don't see.
Okay, so then why does he not understand that?
I can't speak for him, but I'm saying I think it was more that clip that came out of her kind of with the accent in Atlanta, that people were saying, that I think that's what he was saying by that.
By what? Thank you for the hint, thank you. Wasn't this prior to that?
Him saying,
Or wasn't it around the same time?
I thought it was because of I thought it was after that clip came out in Atlanta of her kind of like, I don't know.
And are you what kind of accent are you referencing?
I don't know, just the ways that she was talking. That's the clip.
What about the way she was talking?
It was that clip that came out that went viral, and then Trump said, "Oh, why is she?"
Wait, no. What about the way she was speaking?
I don't know. I'm just telling you what the.
I'm just confused. What are you talking about?
That clip that came out, I don't know, the one of her in Atlanta, and then people were saying, why does she have this accent and acting?
Yeah, what accent?
Differently. Just speaking differently than she usually does, I'd say.
Okay. Speaking a little bit differently than she usually does.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the issue with speaking a little bit differently in certain circumstances? Tyler, think of the dollar.
I don't know. It's not usually how she talks, is what I'm saying. From that clip.
Wow. Okay.
It's
And
not
is that a reason for Trump to say that she turned black?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, so is that not racism to you?
I don't know. I don't know if that's really racism. I feel like
You don't think that's racism?
from what he said about her,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was racist.
You don't think it's racist?
No.
So what makes you think that?
I just think
Like denying the fact that she was black
like
isn't racist?
I think that seeing the way that Trump interacts with, he did. If Trump was really racist, I don't think he would have done things for historically like black colleges. I don't think that he would have.
You mean give $255 million a year when Obama specifically gave multiple billions of dollars? So like double what Trump gave, and Harris gave 16 billion, so 16 times what Donald Trump gave.
Yeah, I feel like you're making a lot of.
Really? So he lessened the amount of money going to historically black colleges and universities, and you tried to act like he gave them more money?
I didn't say that he gave them more money. I'm saying that I don't think Trump is a racist person because he did do good. Like, he does care about the black community. That's what I believe. I do believe that Trump cares about the black community.
Yeah, so you believe that he cares. What makes you think that?
I mean, like what I said, HBCU like funding and stuff.
But that was less than both Obama and the Biden-Harris administration.
I'm not saying that he gave more than them, but I'm saying that because you said that he's a racist person, I'm just saying I don't think that he is. I think that he did do. I'm not saying that he gave more than Biden and Kamala Harris. I'm just saying that he does care about the black community, in my opinion, from what I've seen.
Yeah, but what makes you think that?
For example, like the HBCU funding, I'm not saying that he gave more money than them.
So how does that mean he's not racist?
If you were like I don't know. I feel like if you're a racist person, then
So racist people have never So okay, do you think like racist people are okay with slavery?
I would say yeah.
Okay. So you're telling me Abraham Lincoln, who said specifically that he would have been okay with slavery if it meant keeping the Union. Do you think he's racist?
Sorry, say that one more time.
Abraham Lincoln, right, who said that he would be okay with keeping slavery insofar as that it is the case that it kept the Union. Do you think he's racist?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
Yeah? So he was racist, yet he engaged in policy that benefit black Americans?
Yeah. But I
Okay,
don't,
so clearly you just saying
think Trump's ever
that Trump giving money to the HBCUs, right, is somehow meaning he's not racist is not a good reason under your own worldview.
but Trump's never said that he agrees with slavery.
Yeah, but again, he has popularized the birther movement, right? That literally undermined the identity of Barack Obama being able to run for president. Same thing with Kamala Harris saying that she turned black, right? He constantly engages in racial remarks, specifically like racist remarks, all the time, right? And it's just excused by Republicans. If you said you care about racism, you said you care about women's rights, do you care about climate change at all? Science denial? Like, do you think that's a bad thing?
Climate change.
Like, do you believe in science?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you think science denial is bad, right?
Yeah, for the most part. I do think that there's nothing wrong with questioning.
No, he denies science. He doesn't question it, he denies it. He says that everything's going to start cooling. Science just doesn't know it yet.
I mean,
I'm not trolling. That's literally what he said.
Yeah. I mean, I don't agree with that, but I do.
Yeah, so you want to vote for that guy, dude? Are you kidding me?
Well, okay, and then I don't know. There's just things that I'm like not against. Like I don't think that you should just get shut down. Like that you're stupid for saying, maybe climate change isn't as serious as what you think.
What data do you have to support that?
What you said?
What data do you have to support that? Thank you for the hand art. Thank you.
I'm not saying that I have data to support that. I'm saying that I don't think there's anything wrong with questioning it. And
What I'm saying is he's outright denying it, right? He's denying science. The 97% of climate scientists that think that warming is specifically caused by human activity, he denies that. He says it's going to start cooling. Okay, he's literally engaging in delusion, and you're just writing it off.
I mean, I feel like that's the thing, though, that I feel like with politics is do you agree with everything that Kamala and Biden? Kamala?
No, I don't agree with everything, right? But all of these things are a lot, like women's rights, the environment, like all of those things that I referenced, his racism, him being held legally responsible for sexual abuse, defamation, fraud, him trying to overthrow the government. I would think at some point you'd say it's a bit much, right?
Yeah, and so if those are kind of like I would say if climate and in a way, I would say women's rights. If those were like kind of your two like biggest things, then
no. What do you care about? Like I'm just saying, like all of these things you said that you disagree with them on. What do you care about so much that you're willing to sacrifice all of those things?
I would say it's just kind of the agenda of it's more like the agenda of a liberal party that I disagree with.
Like what?
Just the I don't know, the shaming. There's a lot of shaming of people that I'd say, and like throwing the racism card out. Like I just feel like and like playing the victim. Like I feel like I just see more of that from the left than I do.
Let's say every single one of your characterizations is true.
Yeah.
How is that worse than fucking sexual abuse, dude? How is that worse than taking away women's rights? Please, give me any fucking legitimate reason.
I mean, so I guess from Trump's perspective, and then what he was saying is let the states handle it as a state-by-state issue with abortion rather than Roe v. Wade, which was in place before.
Yeah, and that restricts women's access to abortion. It was terrible.
But he said that he wouldn't limit access to medical abortions in the debate.
That does in respective states.
But at the same time, the states voted.
So he says he doesn't support that, but he knows that's going to happen.
But I don't think that he does. State voters like put in place.
He does know that's going to happen.
I mean,
he said he knew that was going to happen.
But he's come out before and said that that third trimester is kind of where he like cuts the line. And he
can say whatever his personal view is. He is okay with it being left up to the states, which means that those things are going to happen, right? That people are going to have restricted access to abortion if they are in this country, right, in a state in which bans it.
I mean, at that point, don't you have to blame the voters of that state for that, though?
I can't blame both. I can blame both.
I don't know.
Those voters wouldn't have been able to do it without him.
But that was his thing. I'm going to leave it up to be a state issue.
Okay.
It's a state issue. You can vote on that.
Yeah, it's left up to the states. He made it be left up to the states with that explicit reason.
But he could have just come in and say, I'm going to make it. I'm going to limit access to it across the board in the U.S. if that's what he wanted.
That's less electable.
So you think that it's all just a front for him to get elected, and then when he gets in power, then he'll encourage no access to abortion for women?
He could. I'm not saying he will. What I'm saying is that he's totally fine with it restricting access to abortion in those circumstances in respective states.
I feel like in a way too, like a lot of it is like it's a very like, because personally, like whether this is kind of how I am with things in general is like, even if I had a view on something, like...
Yo, Tracy, thank you so much for the $20 on Cash App. Thank you so much, Tracy. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
This is where I'll kind of like get into it with people, like especially like Christians, like other Christians, and then I'll be like, I understand maybe, and this is why I said this is one of the issues that I'm kind of probably on the other side with, because I'm like, just because you disagree with it or you think it's something that shouldn't happen, it's the same thing with like gun. I see it as like, I know it's a different topic, but like gun rights in America, like when people are like, I may not want to own a gun, which is fine, but I'm going to take that right away from other people. I know it's a completely different thing, but I'm just kind of like saying it side by side. I think that's how I look at it. Like I'm more.
I honestly have no clue how that relates to what I'm saying.
Well, I'm saying I believe it to be more of like I think America should be like free. Like you should be able to, like if I'm saying that I should be able to go buy a gun.
America should be free, but Trump banning people from burning the American flag and putting them in prison for a year, which takes away from freedom, restricting women's access to abortion.
I think burning an American flag is a little bit different. Like that to me, that's different. I don't think you should be.
You don't give a shit about freedom. You don't care about women's freedom. You don't care about freedom as it relates to the Constitution. What the fuck do you care about, bro? So baseless. All right, I'm gonna hit a restart, everyone. I'm gonna hit a restart. I'll be right back, everyone. My lemonade. I have to go get my lemonade. So I'm gonna go restart, fix my algorithm, get my lemonade. And I'll be right back. I love y'all.